Good morning, boys and girls. Today might be the last day I have with the GT4. Well, actually, this week may be the last week I have with the GT4. But yeah, I never even did a video with this car, mostly because I'm not a YouTuber. And I really should have. I did have quite a bit of fun with this car. This has been an awesome sports car, let's put it that way. And I think I have decided that I'm gonna sell it. And the biggest reason has really nothing to do with the car itself and has everything to do with me. I've got some serious back issues, lower back issues, and it's gotten to the point where driving this car for more than 20 minutes for two reasons has become very cumbersome. First reason being, the seats are super nice. I love these seats, but they are not adjustable in any in this. You can't recline the back at all. It's a solid one piece of carbon. And that's really great for the racetrack, but it's not good at all for daily driving. So your back doesn't get any relief. And then the second thing being that it's a manual, which I love. However, the combination of those two things, especially in Southern California kind of roads and traffic, makes it super rough on my back. I actually need surgery, and that's kind of pending. It's unfortunate that I can't really drive this car for more than 20 minutes or so. I am going to drive it this morning because there is a PCA event about 15 minutes away from the house. So I'm going to go have breakfast with those guys, and I'm going to take you along with me in the car to give you a kind of a impressions video, maybe. Just what I think of the car and how it drives and whatnot. Spoiler, I love this car. It is pretty loud inside, so I'm not sure how well you'll be able to hear me. So if the audio is terrible, I might just voice over it afterwards. So this car is pretty well optioned, but nothing you don't need. It doesn't have PCCB, so it doesn't have the carbon ceramic brakes. Very obvious by the red color of the calipers. And it does have the lightweight bucket seats, as you can see. And it is manual, so that is, I think, how you want to option this car. It has the chrono pack and not much else. It does have Apple CarPlay. I want to say that's probably it. Yeah. I've done no mods to this car. I didn't even tint the windows. I've had it for about a year, and nothing's been done to this car. It does have a paint protection film on it, which, especially in a black car, I think is very important. It is pretty dirty right now, and I am not planning to wash it. So yeah, let's go on that drive before I bore you to death. Getting comfortable in this thing is sometimes a little challenging, especially if you're not like 160 pounds. Pull the windows up. Ah, we got cold air. Let's stop that. One of the things that I don't have in this car is the kind of the automatic automatic climate control. It's kind of crazy how useful that is, because you have it in all your other cars. Every modern car has a button that just says auto, and you don't really think about it because you just set it and forget it. But now with this, you know, I have air conditioning and heating, obviously, but you know, adjusting it is not that trivial. You have to like dial up the heat and then dial up the fan yourself. Serious first world problem here, but you know, it just takes a while to dial it in, and it doesn't, you know, it doesn't stay comfortable. You have to make it comfortable. So anyway, I think we're ready here. It's only a 16-minute drive, but I'll attempt to tell you the things I like and dislike about this car. I think it's going to be a lot of likes. First of all, this gearbox. Actually, this gearbox was giving me some problems until recently. And then I told Porsche about the problems I was having. And they said, oh, I think there's a bulletin for that. And they applied the bulletin, which is basically just a weighted shifter. The car is transformed. Because the shifts are now super smooth. I used to get a little bit of a sticky shift between 1 and 2. That's no longer there. The other thing that used to be kind of tricky was if I was on an uphill like slope, it was very difficult to engage the gear in first. That's not a problem at all anymore. It's strange. I thought that was maybe just me. Maybe I didn't know how to shift properly, but this bulletin definitely made the difference. So as you know, this car, the red line here is at 8,000 RPM. You've got your 420 horsepower flat six, which is really kind of the star of the show here. And it does, that 8,000 is exactly where this car likes to live. I'm gonna kind of short shift here a little bit while the car is warming up. And I'm kind of getting out of a residential area where I don't want to kill the speed limit too badly here. But suffice it to say, that higher RPM range is really kind of where this car is meant to live. That's where it really comes alive. You're not going to get very fast, like 0 to 60 times or anything like that with this car. That's not really what it's for. But once you get it up in that high RPM range, anywhere like past 5,000, 6,000, it just becomes an animal. And the tail becomes real happy and starts to slide on you. It's absolutely a blast in that range. And I can't think of a better car for, you know, this sort of thing. Even just driving around town, it's an absolute blast. But you know, having it out on a track or an autocross course or something like that is obviously just a phenomenal treat. So what else? Tech-wise, not a whole lot. Actually, I forgot to hit all my favorite buttons. It's so funny because Porsche makes you click every one of these buttons every time, and it doesn't remember any of them except for your sports suspension, which is actually not one that I want to select right now. So you've got your auto blip, which is phenomenal. That was just 6. So here we go. I'm gonna try to get us up to, well, actually I won't be able to get us up to 8 in 3rd gear because that would be going way past the speed limit. So I'm actually gonna, that auto blip, was 8. And that's totally where this car likes to live. So nice. Really just wakes you up. That's actually, so the biggest gripe that everybody has with this car, and I have to say, I get it now after driving the car for a while. It does leave you wanting for that 8,000 because you can't be at it for very often, simply because the gearing is so tall in this car. Second gear takes you all the way up to, I think it's like 70 something miles per hour or 80 miles an hour. It's really fast. So you're not going to be using it on the streets. On the track, it's fine. Even if I consciously want to, it's difficult to like get up to that 8,000 RPM, which is, like I said, where this car likes to live. As you can tell, it's really loud in the cabin. So I am going to go ahead and turn the exhaust button down, which doesn't make a whole lot of difference actually inside the cabin. That's more of an outside thing. I love the sound of this motor. I think it's just perfect. And I mean, I'm more of a V8 guy, but this flat 6, it just has this sound of perfection. It's just this mechanical perfection sound. Just love it. With a better exhaust, I think this car would sound insanely good. And I've heard it, but sadly, I won't be keeping the car that long, so I'm not gonna make that change, obviously. It's not an impressive amount of power, but it's also not something that leaves you longing for much. Comfort-wise, it's very basic, right? There's not a whole lot of comfort features, as you know. This is not that car. This is more of your streetable track car, not a trackable street car. So you're not going to find a ton of comfort in here. However, it does have plenty of storage. So you got a huge front trunk storage. You got a pretty decent size in the back, and then you got a glove box and this armrest storage. Plus, you got pockets in the doors. That's more than I have in most other sports cars. So I think you know, from that sense, it's actually pretty practical. Fuel economy, I haven't really kept track, honestly. It's not a car I drive very often, but it's pretty good, you know. Depends on how you drive it. So let's see if we can get a good launch here. Well, not a launch, but that was a red line there. Hit that rev limiter, which I have done a couple of times, not very often, but kind of hard to do if you're trying to keep your eye on the road and also on the tack at the same time. Although that's another thing I love about this car is this very basic cluster here. You got your tack on full big display. Your speedometer is a small one on the left, and then you got a tiny little screen that kind of can display a few different things. I'm not going to show you all that because I don't have a camera mounted here, but it's pretty basic. But it's really kind of meant, again, for that track focus where you're really just keeping an eye on your RPM. Technology-wise, you know, having Apple CarPlay is really nice. Absolutely love that. This is not the 992 generation cluster, right? Of that, you know, the new 911 obviously has this really beautiful kind of setup. This doesn't have that, and sadly, the new GT4 RS doesn't have it either, which I think was kind of a big missed opportunity on Porsche's side to kind of update the Cayman platform. But it's not like they need to. They have been selling like hotcakes. Here we go. Oh my God. That is just glorious. God, man, that is so perfect. I am gonna miss this car a lot. In fact, this is one of those few cases where I am very certain I will regret selling this car, but I don't really have a choice per se. That was it. Oh, and then handling, of course, you know, that's why you buy this car, is the handling. Well, maybe the 8,000 RPM is your first thing, but handling, it just doesn't get any better than this. It's like driving a scalpel. It is super sharp. Every input into the steering wheel gives you that exact thing that you're looking for. It's absolutely glorious in that sense, and it's phenomenal. The first time I drove this, I was actually really shocked because I went to test drive it just to kind of see what the hype was about, and within about I scraped coming out of the parking lot because the car is super low and it doesn't have a lift. I don't even think a lift was an option on the GT4. It is on the GT4 RS. Anyway, I scraped it out of the parking lot coming out, and then got out first, went to second gear. The gal that was the salesperson was with me, and as soon as I got into second and I didn't floor it or anything. I just started getting on it. And then I kind of did one of these, you know, like little tug on the steering wheel. You guys can't feel that, but it is just immediate. And it's so precise. As soon as I felt that, I was like, okay, I'm buying this car today. Wow, this is more cars than I had thought I was going to see here. I did not think this was going to be a packed event. That's crazy. These PCA guys are not messing around. Wow, is that a GT2 RS? God damn. Oh no, it's a GT3 RS. Wow. I've been to a lot of cars and coffees. This is an impressive turnout for many reasons. Biggest reason being that everybody's parked meticulously. They haven't left spots in between them. And wow, I gotta say, like I'm self-conscious about my parking here right now. Once these tires warm up, it feels like you're just on rails. This is my favorite right turn. Phew. See what that car did? What? It almost ran into us. Okay, now we're in a pretty residential neighborhood. We should slow down, turn the exhaust down a bit. I cut out the video here to do a quick voiceover. The GT4 has now moved on to a new home, and I hope the new owner is just as happy with it as I was. And I have replaced the GT4 with a new car. And in order to find out what that car is, you're gonna have to click that subscribe button and tune in next time. And I hope to see you there. Love to see your comments below, and click that like button.